WWE has a lot of money and AEW has a lot of money. And obviously, when these two large companies are, spending a lot of money and making a lot of money, they're going to be spending a lot of their money on mostly talent, right? And obviously, there's going to be names across from both companies that become free agents. They might leave companies, they might switch to a different company, whatever it may be. However, actually, what's really interesting is there's a major name who I believe at this point, a lot of people consider this talent to be a rising star. And this individual is becoming a free agent and leaving the international wrestling scene to make a permanent move to America. And I am super excited about this. I think this is a great signing, and it appears that the deal is done with AEW. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Plus, TNA, some massive groundbreaking news there, and then some interesting contract news for a star in AEW. So obviously, we got to kick things off with AEW and more specifically Mariah May. This obviously is considered shocking to me because there really hasn't been too much conversation about where she's currently at with her contract in AEW. However, there was a report that came out today from Fightful Select that basically says Mariah May is currently in her contract year, and she is obviously with AEW, but a lot of people didn't know that her initial deal with the company was actually a relatively short-term deal. Um, Basically, the plan is for AEW to keep Mariah May. They obviously have a very strong desire to keep her. They have a lot of belief in her. They believe that she's got a lot of potential. They believe in her value, which is awesome. But technically speaking, Mariah May very well could become a free agent in the summer. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because I actually think Mariah May has been utilized absolutely incredibly well in AEW. However, with Mariah May actually catching steam and getting momentum and everything, you do have to wonder how she is going to go about free agency if that time does come, because obviously WWE would have significant interest there. So you have to wonder at some point, is WWE an actual possibility? Now, my personal belief is that she will stay with AEW, and my personal belief is that she is going to get paid very well to stay with AEW long term. We don't know what the contracts are going for these days. Maybe it's 3 years, maybe it's 5 years. Who obviously knows at this stage? But I feel like Mariah May deserves a very good contract. I would look at Mariah May as clearly part of the upper, the upper scene in the women's division, right? She's up there, right? I would consider her one of the top female athletes for AEW. So I'm happy for her because this means she's going to get paid a lot of money. And there's always that possibility that she could potentially, utilize WWE's interest as a way to get more money. But I do think she'll actually end up staying put. And that leads us to our next topic, ladies and gentlemen. Gail Kim and a few other individuals have been released and fired from TNA. This is really, really shocking news, to be honest. This is especially Gail Kim just being such a important part of TNA. When Scott D'Amore was let go, she took over as the head of talent relations. She's also a very, very, very main contributor to the women's division over there. Gail Kim is somebody who, just something I have witnessed personally with her being backstage in TNA. She is a great influence in the company. Now TNA has made the decision to let her go. And there's a couple other changes that we'll get to. Today, TNA put out a statement. Today, we announced a restructuring resulting in staffing changes at TNA Wrestling. These decisions are always difficult, but it became apparent that we needed to make adjustments to our business strategies. We are grateful for those who worked here and thank them for their years of dedication to the company. Finally, we want our fans to know that we are committed to producing the absolute best product and highest quality content that we can, and we appreciate their continued support. This is obviously a very big deal. Also let go was Ariel Schnurner and Rob Kligman and Michael Shuchenko. Basically, TNA is making a lot of changes. And also what's even crazier is Delirious, who used to book ROH, is now going to be the head of TNA Creative. So this is obviously a massive, massive shakeup. And quite frankly, I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat it. I'm a massive fan of TNA. I love TNA. However, I'm going to be very, very clear here. Anthem and Carlos Silva, the president of TNA, I genuinely feel like you have made a massive, massive, massive mistake. This is inexcusable. This is uncalled for. I don't really care what kind of shakeup you're trying to do or whatever sort of things that you're trying to do for your company and your business. I understand Anthem, their reasoning I guess it makes sense, right? But the reality is, Gail Kim is just somebody who this is an industry where you don't have that many females at the top of the food chain, but also at the same time too, it's not about just having females there at the top of the food chain. It's about having quality talent. And regardless of gender, Gail Kim is like a really, really good influence backstage at TNA. She's incredibly well liked by the people there. She does a terrific job at her job. And just to see that Carlos Silva and Anthem made the decision to let her go, it's really insane. And obviously TNA will keep moving forward, but I think this is problematic. I genuinely believe this is problematic, and I think it's not a good look for TNA to do that. And obviously Gail Kim should have no problem getting a new job. I think WWE or AEW would be absolutely foolish to not bring her in, but yeah. And that brings us to our final topic, ladies and gentlemen. This is interesting because obviously bidding wars exist. We were just talking about Mariah May earlier. However, there's a new free agent on the block, and the name is Mina Shirakawa. And she's obviously somebody who a lot of people believe will be a very, very massive part of the future of pro wrestling. However, what is actually insane to think about right now is the fact that Mina Shirakawa is leaving Stardom. She started with Stardom, I believe, in 2020, and now she has officially confirmed that she is leaving the company. The belief is that she is coming to America, and Fightful is now reporting that AEW is expected to sign Mina Shirakawa. Um, just because it's expected doesn't mean it's 100% confirmed. Obviously, we know WWE has had some interest in the past, but Mina Shirakawa is somebody who has had television time on AEW. And of course, you cannot ignore the fact that she also is a very big part with the Tony Storm and Mariah May storyline. Her transitioning to America is going to be great. Uh, at this point, I think it's very clear that AEW will probably snag her, and she'll do a great job in AEW. Mina Shirakawa is incredibly talented, so there's no doubt about that. I don't think it's going to be an issue. I hope that if she goes to AEW, she's booked well and she's actually a big deal. I hope if Mina Shirakawa were to end up in WWE, she would be considered a big deal and booked well. Obviously, she has her ties to AEW. She knows how AEW operates. She knows Tony Khan. She knows Mariah May. She's very familiarized with their system. So we'll see what happens, obviously. But WWE, AEW, obviously going after big, sought out free agents, regardless of how bloated their rosters are. And sometimes that's just the move you got to make. So whether people like it or not, it's up to you. But you guys can let me know in the comment section down below. And then don't forget, guys, if you want more videos like this, go ahead and click that subscribe button. This way you don't miss a video.